the chase for the championship and how he's adjusting to life in the spotlight. First, it is hard not to notice the back flip when you win. Is this because you were an Ozzie Smith fan growing up, or where does the back flip come from?
You know, I didn't know a lot about baseball growing up, but I did know who Ozzie Smith was because he did a backflip. So, that was kind of in the back of my mind growing up, and then I saw Tyler Walker, a World of Outlaws driver, do a backflip after he won a race, and I thought, that's it, I'm going to start doing this. So I've been doing it since I was racing at the local dirt track.
Winning the race at the Truck Series in Daytona. Winning at Daytona, is it great winning in any form? Does that track have some type of special meaning when you win there on any series?
Winning that truck race at Daytona meant so much. I'll never forget, you know, I come into the checkered flag, and I remember exactly what it looked like watching the flagman wave the checkered, and that was just, that was really special. So yeah, winning at Daytona in any form, I mean, if they had a bicycle race at Daytona, it'd be cool to win that, you know, but someday hopefully I'll get to win a Busch race and a Cup race there. That would be just unreal.
You're in a group of impressive names. In your first Cup start, you finished in the top 10. The only other drivers to do that, Kenseth, Rusty Wallace, Terry Labonte, and Kyle Petty. Did you know that or even realize it?
You know, they mentioned that after that run. And that day, my first Nextel Cup Series event was so cool for so many reasons. I believe Greg Biffle won the race. All of the Roush teams were in the top 10. And I finished 10th, and they said, you know, that's a pretty big day. And I thought that was pretty cool. So that's a day that I'll never forget.
Your dad raced, cousin of Ken Schrader. Did you have any other choice to do anything else with your life other than race?
We'd go to the races and watch Dad, or every once in a while, you know, we called him Uncle Kenny. He's really my second cousin, I guess, but Kenny would come to town and race, and it was just always, I mean, it looked really difficult to me. It looked a little bit scary, and I didn't think it was really a possibility, but when I was 14, my dad let me drive his car one night, and man, it was ugly. I was the most terrible driver in the world, and it was in Macomb, Illinois, and, you know, after that, I just was ate up. You know, I thought, this is all I want to do.
Tell me what it was like when you pick up the phone and Jack Roush is on the other side of the phone and he says, hey, I want to put you in a car.
It was about this time of the year. They called me up and said, they said, you know, Jeff Burton's going to move on. We'd like you to drive the 99 Cup car starting in 2 weeks at Michigan. You know, we just want to make sure you're okay with that. And I said, sure, you know, and I hung up the phone. I sat there and I thought, man, I got to get this straight. So I called him back and I said, look, let me get this right. You want me to drive your Nextel Cup car in 2 weeks? And they said, yeah, that's what's going on. It's like, okay, just had to check. It just was too good to be true.
The driver who's given you the most advice?
Boy, the driver who's given me the most advice is definitely Mark Martin. You know, since I've come to the Nextel Cup Series, he has been someone I've leaned on. And it's been tough at times because there have been times where we've raced each other on the racetrack. And, you know, all that goes out the window. And it's really hard the next week to come back and go, hey, Mark, you know, I really need some help. And he's like, well, you didn't need any help last week, you know, when you were rubbing on my fenders and doing all that stuff. So that's tough. But I think above and beyond, you know, being competitors on the racetrack, my teammates, all of them, and I are friends.
Carl Edwards becomes the 8th different winner in the last 9 races.
Do you feel like you can make the push to get into that top 10 for the chase?
I absolutely feel like we can be in the chase. I feel like we can win this championship. It's just a matter of doing it. It's, you know, this is my first full year in Nextel Cup, and at the beginning of the year, I mean, Jack Roush flat out told me, he said, look, you're not going to win a race, you're probably going to crash a ton. You might get a sponsor, he said, but really you just need to go learn. And so we went from that to now we have these expectations to go and be in the chase, to win a championship, to win 3 or 4 races. Things have changed quickly, and I'm just trying to keep pace with that. If I don't make mistakes, we'll be in the chase. It's just, boy, it's really tough.
How are you adjusting to the fanatic fans?
It's turning into you know, something totally, completely new and different to me. I mean, you know, like, I left my apartment today and I'm loading my stuff up in my truck and someone walks up and says, hey, man, you know, I'm a big fan. It's like, that's crazy, you know. I grew up in Columbia, Missouri, and, I mean, raced every weekend, but it wasn't ever like that. Now it's definitely different, and it's a lot of fun. The fans are really cool.